Welcome back to Mind Glitch Stories. I'm your host, Ryan. Before we dive in, a quick disclaimer. This video is not meant to advocate or glorify any of the following behavior. It is intended to act as an educational exploration on altered states of consciousness. Please, do not attempt to recreate anything discussed here. Today's story comes from a long-time listener who thought they were ready for the ultimate experience. They had years of psychedelic practice. They had experienced ego death before, but nothing, absolutely nothing, could have prepared them for the jungle they were about to enter. This is their story. Our listener, let's call him Alex, wasn't nervous. He was excited. He got comfortable, put on some lo-fi music, and took the first hit of DMT. Instantly, the world broke. Imagine watching a movie where someone else has the remote. You're watching your life speed up, rewind, and pause over and over. Time didn't just slow down, it stopped existing. Alex looked at his hands, and they weren't human anymore. They looked ancient, like they were carved out of stone. Then came the second hit. The room transformed into a digital glitch. Geometric shapes started growing and shrinking like a bug in a video game. And then, a rising pressure in his chest, like that terrifying moment on a roller coaster right before the drop. And that's when it appeared, right in his face, an entity. It wasn't speaking, but Alex could feel it laughing. It was wearing a long white tribal mask with black symbols. It was enjoying his fear. Even though Alex could still see his bedroom, he felt this entity grab his arms and hurl him with impossible strength. He wasn't just thrown across a room, he was ripped through dimensions. He landed in an animated jungle. It looked like a cartoon, but it felt more real than our actual reality. Surrounding him were creatures that looked like baboons, covered in beige fur, wearing those same tribal masks. They were taller than him, intimidating, and powerful. Alex was frozen. He thought he was dying. But then, the music in his headphones started to sync with the visuals. Shapes began to dance. Bright, colorful snakes slithered all over his body. They weren't scary. They were silky, cold, and strangely calming. They told him, not with words, but with feelings, to just relax. And then, just like that, it ended. 5 minutes had passed, but Alex felt like he'd been gone for a lifetime. Now, this is where it gets dangerous. Most people would stop, but Alex felt like he missed the message. He needed to understand what those baboons wanted. So, after a short nap, he went back in for a second attempt. This time, no music, just silence. The first hit was the same, but the second hit was 10 times more intense. He felt a wave of regret wash over him. I shouldn't have come back, he thought. But there was no turning back now. He took the third hit and was blasted back into that animated jungle. Immediately, a baboon grabbed him by the shirt, pulled him inches from its masked face, and looked deep into his soul. It threw him so hard Alex felt like he broke the sound barrier. The entities started screaming, not with voices, but with an overwhelming mental pressure. Look, do you understand? Alex broke down crying. He kept apologizing, telling them he was trying to understand, but he couldn't. The pressure was suffocating. He knew they weren't hostile. They actually cared, but their intensity was terrifying. Then, they called for help. From behind a massive mountain, an enormous white snake emerged. She was a goddess. Glowing blue eyes, a blue tongue, and so massive, she felt larger than the entire universe. As she approached, a wave of warmth and love hit Alex. He finally calmed down. She showed him symbols. She showed him shapes. She tried to translate what the baboons were saying, but Alex's human brain just couldn't process it. The lead baboon came back. He stood on 2 legs, grabbed Alex one last time, and said 4 words that changed everything. You are not ready. He hurled Alex like a baseball, sending him crashing back into his bedroom. Alex woke up trembling, drenched in sweat, staring at his ceiling. The second trip lasted only 7 minutes. But the lesson remains a mystery. Alex realized he needs to grow as a person before he ever tries to enter that jungle again. He's certain that until he changes his life, those entities will keep telling him the same thing. It makes you wonder, what are we not ready to see? If you have a story that glitched your reality, send it to the email in the description. Like, subscribe, and stay grounded. I'm Ryan, and this was Mind Glitch Stories.